How to learn English: 3 scientifically proven methods for learning the language. Learning English is pretty vital in this globalized period since it may aid increase communication both within and outside of India. India is one of the countries that is being affected by globalization. Studies have indicated that a significant proportion of younger children in India are not proficient in English, despite the fact that the country has the second greatest number of English speakers in the world. Because of this, even as these children grow up and become adults, many of them continue to question how to effectively learn English so that they may avoid the difficulties that arise when they are not proficient enough in the language. Getting proficient in any language takes time and effort, and it might take weeks or even years. However, if you don't give up and continue to practice on a regular basis, you will eventually figure out the most effective strategies to learn English. There are 3 approaches to learning English that have been shown to be effective in accordance with scientific research. Check out these 3 strategies to learn English if you already have a fundamental understanding of the language. 1. The method of immersion. Because the immersion technique completely submerges you in the target language, it teaches you to speak and comprehend English at a level comparable to that of a native speaker. You may become quite proficient in the language by studying it for an hour each day, but in order to speak it like a native speaker, you will need more training. Immersion is the most effective method for learning English at a native speaker's level. We are able to communicate effectively in our mother tongue because, as newborns, we learn the language by picking up little bits of it while listening to others. We don't learn it after first mastering the principles of language and then applying them. If you live in a place where English is not the primary language, this method of learning English will not be simple for you, but it is not impossible either. You will need to increase the amount of time you spend exposed to the English language in order to get to the point where you can think in English and translate from your first language. The following are some of the most effective techniques to do this. Change the language settings on all of your social media accounts to English, and adjust the options in your browser so that any non-English content on websites you visit will be automatically converted to English. Even if you have trouble understanding everything, it will be helpful to expose yourself to English media. You should turn on the subtitles since doing so will not only help you read English more quickly but also improve your comprehension. Tune in to the radio or listen to the news in English. Because it is one of the most effective methods to learn English, you should try to speak the language as often as you can with your family and friends. Participate in English-speaking communities either locally or online, in which there are other individuals who share your interests. This will make it easier for you to carry on conversations in English. Instead of beginning your English education by learning grammatical rules, the immersion method is an excellent choice for those who want to improve their fluency and ability to carry on natural conversations in the language. 2. Procedure in the classroom. The classroom technique is rather diametrically opposed to the method that was just discussed. You won't learn English the way a local would here, rather, you'll study it the way a professor would. The principles of grammar, vocabulary, and sentence structure are initially taught, and then your general English knowledge is progressively built upon this foundation. The scientific community agrees that picking up a new language is a challenging endeavor that requires significant rewiring of the brain. After being familiar with the fundamental norms of a language, you may progressively expand your understanding of it. The classroom method, as its name indicates, is most effectively used in a classroom environment, whether that environment is created at home, elsewhere, or online. Learn how to speak English using this approach. Put your name down for an English course. Find someone who speaks English, ideally someone who is a native speaker, and hire them to be your instructor. Find websites and mobile applications that provide you with quizzes and activities to test your command of the English language. If you want to acquire a new language, it is essential that you study English every day and engage in regular practice. Every day or once every few days, review what you've learned in the past. Purchase a few quality grammar books so you can go through the exercises and have your questions answered. For many years now, students of the English language have relied on the book written by Wren and Martin as their primary resource. If you want more structure in your learning process, don't want to be surrounded by English all day long, and instead want to allot yourself some time for it each day, then the classroom method is one of the greatest methods to learn English. It's also one of the finest ways to learn any language. It works best in a group context, such as a school, or if you are just starting out. 3. Use of a dual approach. The dual method combines the two strategies discussed before for learning English and transforms them into a classroom-based, intensive approach to learning the language proficiently. This is the approach of learning English that you should choose if you want to have some structure in your studies, but also want to learn how to have natural, spontaneous conversation. According to the findings of several pieces of research, one of the most effective ways to learn a language is to begin by gaining a knowledge of the structure of the language and then to progress to immersion. However, there is not yet a definitive declaration about the timing of when this move should take place. Learn how to speak English using this approach. Combine the guidelines for the two approaches described above. Find a happy medium between the two. You may start your day by following the classroom method to gain new knowledge, and then you can switch to the immersion method to put that knowledge into practice throughout the rest of the day. Don't end up overworking yourself. It is important to take pauses from your studies since excessive studying might slow down the learning process. You and your learning partner might get together once a week to discuss your progress and provide advice to one another as you study English. If you do well in a classroom setting but would want to advance more quickly in your English studies, the dual method is a fantastic option for you to consider. If you reside in an area where English is spoken, if you attend other lessons in English, or if you are already at an intermediate or advanced level in English, this will be an excellent way for you to improve your language skills. We are hoping that the 3 most effective techniques to learn English as shown by research would be of use to you. Choose the approach that seems to work the best for you, and have fun learning.